Hi everyone, welcome to Chapel in 5, which is part of our TAS at Home learning program. It's great to be able to meet together even though we can't actually be here in the same space. Now, you might notice that I'm not actually in the Chapel of St. Aidan for chapel. I'm underneath the Cape Chestnut tree here on Main School Close. And I chose to lead chapel here today because it's a reminder that God is actually with us wherever we go. Wherever we are, at home or at school, in the chapel, in our classroom, we can be with God and we can talk to Him and learn from Him. But it's always special to make our chapel space a little bit different. So I encourage you today, if you're sitting at your desk where you normally do your schoolwork, jump up, go find a comfy spot on the lounge or outside or under a tree so that we can make sure that we have a beautiful, special space for chapel. So today we're going to be thinking more about practicing peacemaking, which is our theme for this year, and what kindness has got to do with it. But first of all, we're going to hear from our the Bible today, and Evelyn in Year 4 has shared the Bible reading with us. Thanks, Evelyn.
A reading from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5, verses 43 to 48. Jesus said, "Have you heard people say, 'Love your neighbours and hate your enemies'? But I tell you, to love your enemies and pray for anyone who mistreats you. Then you'll be acting like your Father in heaven. He makes the sun rise on both good and bad people, and sends rain for ones who do right and for ones who do wrong. If you only love those people who love you, will God reward you for that? Even tax collectors love their friends. If you greet only your friends, what's so great about that? Don't even unbelievers do that? But you must always act like your Father in heaven." Hear the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Have you ever tried to fill a balloon with water? Now, filling a balloon with hot air is easy enough. Beautiful. Thanks, Mrs. Reynolds, for the balloons. But what happens to a balloon when we fill it with hot air and we put it over heat? It bursts under pressure. But what about filling a balloon with water? Is that as easy? Not really. Thankfully, here's one I prepared earlier. Here's a balloon and it's got some water in it. Let's see what happens when we put this balloon filled with water over heat, just like the other one. It doesn't burst. How cool is that? And in our Bible reading today, Jesus tells his followers to fill themselves with love and kindness and not anger. Because filling ourselves with love and kindness is kind of like filling ourselves with hot air or water. We take the balloon with hot air and we're put under pressure, we bubble up inside and then we burst. But when we fill them with water, with love and kindness, we can take ourselves, and when we're put under pressure, when someone's being unkind to us, we don't burst. Now, Jesus also teaches us in the Bible that being mean to people and being unkind to people is not okay. So if you're having a tough time at home at the moment, if someone is being unkind to you or being mean to you, please tell someone that you trust. Please tell your mum or dad, or please tell one of your teachers, because that is not okay. But what we can learn from today's lesson, is that when we fill ourselves with kindness, when people are mean to us or unkind to us, that we can still cope with that pressure, that we won't burst, because we're not filled with anger or hot air, we're actually filled with love. It can be really, really tough to fill our hearts with kindness, particularly when we're under pressure. You saw me trying to fill that balloon with water. I didn't do very well. The great news is, though, is when we ask God for help, we have that help and we can rely on Him. And when we act in love and kindness, we can be peacemakers, just like Jesus was. So now we're going to hear from some of our year ones who have written some prayers for us and shared them with us. And we're going to say thank you, sorry, and please to God.
Dear God, thank you that you have made us and filled us with your love. Thank you that even though we are not at school, we are safe and loved. Thank you that we can still learn, grow, and share when we are apart. Thank you that you are watching over us every day. Amen.
Dear God, we are sorry that sometimes we are filled with hot air and not with kindness. Please forgive us when we do the wrong thing. Please give us courage to speak up in kindness when someone is doing the wrong thing. Amen. Dear God, please help us as we learn at home. Help us to remember Jesus' words, to be calm and kind to everyone. Help us to know that you are a strong and kind God, and you will always be there for us. Amen.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Chapel in 5 today. I really pray that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God and of His Son, Jesus. Have a great day. I can't wait to see you again. God bless. Goodbye.